Hello, my name is Lloyd Chapman, and I'm president and founder of the American Small Business League. And the American Small Business League is reaching out to chambers of commerce all across the country to ask for your help. We've contacted your chamber, I'm sure, several times in the past, and you may or may not be familiar with our organization. Our organization really works to try to support the federal programs there to help small businesses. And I was very flattered when about a month ago, an article on American Express Open Forum on their website recognized me as one of the 4 strongest voices for small business in America. And the program we're asking you to become aware of is the Comprehensive Subcontracting Plan Test Program. Let me tell you about this program. Think about this. Think about the local school district says, we have an idea to increase scholastic scores here in our community. We're going to eliminate tests for the children, we're going to eliminate report cards, and we're going to eliminate any penalty for children who don't show up for class. And we're going to see if that increases scholastic scores. Oh, and by the way, and we're going to test it for 25 years. You would think they were insane, wouldn't you? And then they say, you know, it's been 25 years, we have no evidence this works, so we're going to renew it for another 3. Well, that's what Congress is doing. Congress has taken a program that was established in 1990, 25 years ago. The legislation was written in 89. It took effect in 1990. Here's what it says on the Comprehensive Subcontracting Plan Test Program website. The purpose of the test is to determine whether comprehensive subcontracting plans will result in increased subcontracting opportunities for small businesses while reducing the administrative burden on the contractors. Well, here's what their test involves. So prior to this program, in the late 80s, Pentagon prime contractors had to submit a small business subcontracting plan on every contract they had. Then they had to submit quarterly and annual reports. And those reports were available to you and me and anyone that wanted to see them. And that's how the public and Congress and even the media could keep track on these government contractors and make sure they're complying with the law. I should have started off by saying that federal law requires that a minimum of 23% of all government contracts go to small businesses. I think that makes perfect sense since we know by the U.S. Census Bureau data that small businesses create over 90% of the net new jobs and are responsible for half the private sector workforce, over half the gross domestic product, and over 90% of U.S. exports. So think what it means to the middle class and small businesses when a program like this is rolled out that actually hurts small businesses. The second aspect of the Comprehensive Subcontracting Test Program was the elimination of any penalties for noncompliance. So prior to the implementation of this program in 1990, all prime contractors could face liquidated damages for failing to hit their small business goal. The government would actually put extra money into these contracts for the contractors to subcontract out for small businesses. We know that because the law said that when they didn't achieve their small business goal, when they didn't take that money and subcontract to small businesses, they had to pay it back in the form of liquidated damages. The law actually said the contractors shall pay liquidated damages in the amount of the deficiency, which means the amount that they didn't hit their small business goal. So prior to this program, prime contractors had to submit reports, plans that were available to everybody in America, and they could face penalties. This program eliminated all transparency and eliminated all penalties. Of course, that would be absurd to think that's going to increase opportunities for small businesses. And they tested it for a quarter of a century. It's insane. It's absolutely, I've never heard anything this crazy in my whole life, by the way, in our government. Never heard anything this ridiculous in my whole life. I know Congress is embarrassed by it because they tried to hide it. If you look at the 2015 Defense Authorization Bill, you'll see the Section 811 of the bill that renews this program until the year 2017. It's 28th year of testing. It's hidden. Here's one reason they try to hide it. In the chairman's mark of the bill, which was the chair of the House Armed Services Committee, here's what was in the language of the bill. However, after nearly 24 years since the original authorization of the program, the test program has yet to provide evidence that it meets the original stated goal of the program. So Congress is admitting that there's no evidence this program has worked in a quarter of a century, but we're going to renew it into its 28th year. I hope you agree with me that that's absurd. 10 years ago, the Government Accountability Office investigated it. And here's what their conclusion. Although the test program was started more than 12 years ago, DoD has yet to establish metrics to evaluate the program's results and effectiveness. What they're saying, the program, that the Pentagon hadn't even established a program to test its effectiveness. Now, I think I know why that is. Because they know that there's going to be no evidence that this program increased subcontracting opportunities for small businesses. Of course it wouldn't. It would be, you'd have to be a moron to think that's going to increase opportunities for small businesses. So Congress admits that there's no evidence it works. The GAO has established there's no evidence that it worked. And I hope you'll agree with me that logically it's absurd to think that eliminating transparency and penalties is going to help small businesses. This is a huge loophole that has allowed the Pentagon's largest prime contractors to violate federal law and not meet the federally mandated 23% small business goal. And my research shows that it's probably cheated the middle class out of $1 trillion and possibly twice that much. So we're just asking you to take a look at this. We're sending you some information. Read what Congress says. You don't have to listen to me. You don't know me. Read what Congress says. However, after nearly 24 years since the original authorization of the program, the test program has yet to provide evidence that it meets the original stated goal of the program. Believe what the Government Accountability Office says. Although the test program was started more than 12 years ago, DoD has yet to establish metrics to evaluate the program's results and effectiveness. So take a look at it. You can figure this out in 10 minutes. And join the American Small Business League in opposing the renewal of the Comprehensive Subcontracting Plan Test Program. Call your congressman, call your senator, call the White House, talk to the media in your area. And we need to stop this. We need to stop this program. I view the Small Business Act that was passed in 1951 that today requires that a minimum of 23% of all government contracts go to small businesses to be the most efficient, effective economic stimulus program in our nation's history. I don't know about you, but I can't think of a better way that I want my tax dollars invested and to reinvest that money into the small businesses that create over 90% of the net new jobs and the small businesses where most Americans work. I think it's a great law. I think it's a great program. And this program has allowed the Pentagon to essentially repeal that law. So please join the American Small Business League. Please help us to stop the renewal of the Comprehensive Subcontracting Plan Test Program. And let's create some jobs here in America. I'm Lloyd Chapman with the American Small Business League. Thank you very much.